I'm so glad I live in 2020 when there's so many vegan food alternatives. I cannot imagine if you were vegan like 30 years ago. I have no idea what you guys would have ate. Hey everyone, it's Jaclyn. So today I wanted to do a video all about vegan replacements and vegan alternatives. Whether you're looking to incorporate some more plant-based foods into your diet, whether you eat vegan already, whether you want to eat in a way that's more environmentally sustainable, or whether you're just lactose intolerant and want alternatives, I got them for you. So I actually stumbled across a few YouTube videos. There was one by Edgy Veg and one also by Ashley Wicca, and I'll link them both down below. And they had a video just kind of compiling their favorite alternatives, and I thought that was a really good idea. Sometimes vegan alternatives can be pricey. You don't want to be trying them all, and then if they're not good, like I've had some bad vegan cheeses that you guys just need to avoid. So I'm going to tell you guys which ones are my favorites. And I've been eating plant-based for 6, almost 7 years now. So I feel like I've really had my fair share of vegan alternatives. So I'm really just here to relay the information to you and help you guys eat better vegan alternatives. So let's just hop right into it. I wrote a list on my phone of every single thing, that way I don't forget anything. And also for reference, I live here in Toronto, Canada, and we're pretty lucky. There's quite a few alternatives at major grocery stores, but also I feel like America just always has the best options and more variety of options. So if you are from America, don't leave a comment saying, oh, you should try this cheese, because I probably can't try it here, and that just makes my heart sad. So, okay, first off, let's start off with cheese. This is like the most, I don't want to be vegan because I need my cheese kind of thing. Like, I get it, you want your cheese. There are good vegan cheeses out there. There are also really bad vegan cheeses, and it kind of depends what you're looking for. I feel like one major thing is the melt factor. Some vegan cheeses don't melt at all, so if you're trying to make a grilled cheese and it's like this hard, weird, plasticky, non-cheese substance, it's kind of alarming, and I get that. So I want to offer you two options here. Number one, the best vegan cheese, whether it's cold, melted, eaten straight out of the fridge, cheese and crackers, on a sandwich, whatever, is Earth Island cheese. It is incredible. Now, for some reason, it's called Earth Island, or no, it's called Follow Your Heart here in Canada. Or is that what it's called in the States? No, Earth Island here in Canada, Follow Your Heart in the States. I don't know why they go by two different brand names, but they switch it out depending what country you're in. But Earth Island, Follow Your Heart, these things, it's amazing. Personal faves of mine are the mozzarella and the cheddar. I pretty much use that on everything. I also love the smoked Gouda, although that is harder to find here in Toronto, so I only get that on special occasions, but it is so, so good. Earth Island also does like shreds, that way you can do like a pizza, or I mean really whatever you'd want to do cheese shreds on, like a nacho, anything like that. And again, I've had their cheddar and their mozzarella. It melts amazingly, it tastes so good, and you can eat those cold or melted. Again, just delicious both ways. Now, of course, honorable mention has to go out to Daiya cheese. I never know if it's Daiya. I feel like everyone else says Daiya, but I've always called it Daiya, so I'm just gonna keep calling it Daiya. The Daiya classic, like American cheese, grilled cheese slices. Now I'll start off with the positive. The positive is those are widely available anywhere in Canada, basically at any grocery store. So that definitely makes it convenient, and I definitely will pick it up once in a while, but you cannot eat that stuff cold. It smells weird, so don't smell it when it's cold, and also just don't even try to take a bite of it when it's cold. It is exclusively for grilled cheese or like melted on top of a veggie burger. That's the only purpose for it, and don't do anything otherwise because it will not be yummy. I'd recommend you start with the Earth Island one. This might sound kind of bad, but again, I haven't had real cheese in like 6 or 7 years, so I feel like I'm more open-minded to trying alternatives. Whereas if you ate cheese yesterday and are trying a vegan cheese, it's not gonna taste exactly the same, and you've just gotta kind of accept that. But there definitely are plant-based cheeses that have better textures and smells and flavors and melt factors and all those things, but don't start eating the Daiya cheese. Just build up to that. Build up to that. Next up, let's talk butter. Now, butter is one of the most easily replaceable plant-based items that you can do. I feel like you cannot even taste the difference. And I'm someone who, my entire family isn't vegan, but now they all buy vegan butter just because it's so much easier. And again, you don't have to worry about lactose intolerance. And oftentimes it is better for the environment. So just all little wins there. First up, we've got to talk about the Base Cell vegan butter. Again, very widely available at every single grocery store, so it's super easy to get your hands on. And honestly, works pretty good like butter. You can't really tell that there's anything crazy going on there. It is an oil-based butter, so it's just pretty standard. Now, I am personally, a lover of bread and butter. That is my favorite food. It's like a comfort food. I grew up loving just bread and butter as a kid, so that is always my go-to. So I definitely am picky, and I feel like, am a connoisseur of the vegan butters. So I love trying out new butters and really trying them all. Now, one of my favorite butters is the Earth Balance butter. It comes in these little tubs. You can get like a soy-free version. You can get the original. It's like a buttery spread, and that to me is like the perfect buttery flavor that tastes exactly like butter. This one I feel like is more similar to actual butter in the sense that it is like hard, and if you leave it in the fridge, it gets like a bit stiffer. Whereas whereas the base cell vegan butter is more soft and spreadable, more of like a margarine, I guess I would say, in texture. But yeah, the Earth Balance butter, it is just, I love it. I think it's so, so good. That is definitely my preference, but it typically is more expensive than the base cell ones. So, you know, depending if you're balling on a budget or what your situation is, you know, you've got two options there. Now, if you're feeling real bougie and want to get, you know, the cream of the crop butter, this is the Miyoko's Cultured Vegan Butter. This is so insane to me. This one is made with a nut base, so if you do have a nut allergy, watch out. It is cashews and coconut oil, and it is just so insanely delicious and salted, and it almost is like, I don't want to say a cream cheese texture in a gross way, but in like a nice, thick, beautiful, cultured butter deliciousness kind of way. It is so incredible, but that is definitely like a special occasion butter. You want that on a beautiful piece of fresh bread, like an Italian loaf. That is debatably, if I could only pick one thing to eat ever, it would be that as a final meal. Quote me on that. Okay, moving on, let's talk a little bit about vegan yogurts. Now, I've tried quite a few different vegan yogurts, and yogurt was one thing that always kind of, I don't want to say grossed me out, but when I was not eating dairy and started, you know, obviously eating vegan, the idea of eating a spoonful of yogurt just seemed disgusting to me, which is so weird because I grew up loving regular yogurt and granola, and that was like always something I grew up eating. But I definitely had a weird complex about diving back into the plant-based yogurt space because it seems so unappetizing to me. So I definitely am very picky about the vegan yogurts that I like. Now, I've tried a few of like almond yogurts, coconut yogurts, things like that, but my favorite one is actually the Daiya Greek yogurt. That, I think, is the best product that Daiya makes. It is definitely one of those products that if you fed that to someone who doesn't eat vegan, you would not eat it and be like, oh, this tastes like it doesn't have milk in it. Like, you could not tell. The texture is absolutely incredible. It is like a Greek yogurt, so it's a bit thicker, but they have so many amazing flavors. I love the blueberry one, the strawberry, there's like a peach, cherry, there's a vanilla bean, unsweetened. They really have everything, so that is so good. That is my go-to if I'm looking for a nice yogurt. Daiya is just doing great things. And I think theirs is made out of a coconut cream. You might want to double check me on that. Now, talking a little bit about plant-based milks, I feel like I've really tried it all. You guys have probably already heard me rant about my personal hatred for almond milk. I don't want it to be confused. I love like a homemade hearty almond milk. I think that is delicious. But like a store-bought almond milk, I've tried quite a few, and not that it's disgusting, but I just think there are far superior plant-based milks. And I get it though. Almond milk is approachable. It doesn't seem scary. Soy milk sounds a bit weirder and you're not used to it. I get that almond milk is like the gateway milk into the plant-based milk scene. That being said, my personal favorite milk replacement is soy milk. I think soy milk is the best. It tastes the most like milk if you're just like drinking a cup of it. It also acts the same way as milk. I'm pretty sure that soy milk is the most similar to the chemical makeup of real milk in terms of like protein, micronutrients, all of those things. So yeah, I find it just acts the most similarly to a milk. It's very, you know, universal. You can use it in baking, cooking, smoothies, drinking it straight, in cereal, like whatever you want to do. I feel like it's very easy to use in all those different ways. Whereas something like an almond milk or like a coconut milk, I pretty much only would want to use those in baking or sweeter items. So for me, soy milk just always has my heart. I think it is the best and I love it, and that's normally what I have in my fridge. Now, a close second place is definitely oat milk. I love that oat milk is like the new trendy thing in the vegan scene and kind of in the non-vegan scene too. It's like at all the coffee shops. It's super cool. I definitely like oat milk. I think it's yummy. But again, I just feel like soy milk is a bit more universal, but I'm not mad about the oat milk. You guys know I love my oatmeal, so if it's basically just oatmeal water, that sounds kind of gross, but I also am not mad about it. I did want to throw in here a little coffee creamer as well. Silk does this amazing. It actually is an almond-based coffee creamer, and it's the hazelnut flavor. That is so incredible. So if you're looking for a really good coffee creamer replacer, try out the Silk one. You won't be mad about it. Okay, next up on my list, I have written down a few like mock meats and meat alternatives. Now, I feel like everyone's heard of Beyond Meat by now, and that is honestly just because they're so good. They're really accessible. A lot of places carry them. You can buy them as a consumer. You can buy them at restaurants, and they're just a really good meat replacement. At least from my memory, it tastes exactly what meat tasted like. And from what I've heard from non-vegans as well, they say it pretty much tastes exactly the same. So it's definitely good if you are looking to, you know, reduce your meat consumption, but you still want that flavor. Now, I don't think here in Canada we have the entire range of Beyond Meat products available. I know we definitely have like just the patties, like the hamburgers, which are really great. You can use obviously as a burger, or what I like to do is crumble up the Beyond Meat and kind of like make it like a veggie ground and a pasta. So yeah, that is definitely a winner in my books. I had, when I was in California a few months ago, this amazing Beyond Meat sausage. It was the regular sausage I tried and the spicy Italian, and those are by far the most similar to a real sausage that I've ever had. At first, it was definitely a little alarming. I think I had a Beyond Meat burger maybe like a year and a half ago for the first time, and I obviously had different veggie burgers in the meantime, but nothing was as close or as similar to real meat. And I took a bite and I honestly thought that someone was like pranking me and giving me a real burger, and I was like, are you guys messing with me? Because that is so rude if you just made me eat a real burger. But turns out the Beyond Meat burger is just that good of a replication. Oh, I almost forgot. Thank God I have my list here. The Beyond Meat meatballs are so ridiculously incredible. I was actually shook the first time I had them. So yummy. Would definitely recommend. Also want to give a major shout out to the Impossible Burger. Now those I feel like you can't really buy at the store. I've only ever had them at restaurants, but that is also a delicious substitution. I also wrote down the Yves hot dogs, which I think they're like the jumbo veggie dogs or something like that. They basically look exactly like a hot dog and they taste exactly like a hot dog. My actual theory is that I feel like hot dogs aren't even made of real meat anyway, so that's probably why it tastes so similar, because who knows what's even in a real hot dog. But I feel like a product like that is really good, especially kind of how I incorporate those into my diet or my life is if we're doing like a big barbecue with a bunch of friends or family, and I don't want to be that lame loser that's just sitting there with like pieces of lettuce and being a weird vegan. I never want to be that person, and also I don't want to just eat lettuce. So to always make sure that I feel like included in those like social situations, and also to kind of share some of the food that I eat, I'll always like bring like a pack of veggie dogs or veggie burgers and make my own little things. That way I can still be like eating a barbecue with everyone, but you just got your vegan options there, you know? Also, Yves does this really good Mexican veggie ground that's already like pre-seasoned and is so good if you're having a taco night. Super easy, just like kind of mash it up, put it in the pan, and you're pretty much good to go. Another brand that's really good for mock meats is Gardein. Now Gardein does so many different like frozen things that I always like to have in my freezer for like a lazy night or like a lazy dinner. They do these really good crispy chicken tenders. They're the 7 grain or ancient grain crispy tenders. So delicious. Those are probably my favorite from them. Also though, from Gardein that I've been trying recently, there was the Filet-O-Fish or the fishless fillets. And I was never really a big like fish eater before I went vegan anyways, but for some reason I'm really into those lately. They've been so good. Okay, next up I want to chat about vegan mayo. There are so many different options on the market. For me, my go-to is always the Vegenaise, and I just really like that one. It's like a whipped kind of mayo. It's really good for like spreads, sandwiches, things like that. They do have some flavored ones as well, like the Chipotle one. I normally get the original, but again, really good, easy replacement that doesn't taste like a vegan alternative. Next up, I wanted to chat a little bit about Amy's soups. Now, Amy's soups are just always come in clutch. If it's like a cold winter day or you're having a sick day and you want like a chicken noodle soup, they do these really good vegan soups. And I'm pretty sure majority of Amy's line is either 100% vegetarian, but majority vegan. But it's really good because on all the packaging, it'll clearly say like vegan ingredients or vegan only. But they do a bunch of really good chilies. They have like a spicy chili that I really like, the unchicken noodle soup, which is a really good chicken soup replacement, and a bunch of different like lentil soups, veggie soups, things like that. But again, just another really good, easy thing to kind of have stocked up in your pantry. And then if you're having a lazy night, you just want to do a little soup, Amy's soups is always the move. Next up, let's talk cream cheese. Now, I'm pretty sure a bagel and cream cheese is just debatably the most delicious thing ever. That's like a very close runner-up with bread and butter for me. I just love me a carb moment. What can I say? So if we're talking best vegan cream cheeses, I hear that the Kite Hill cream cheese is absolutely incredible, and I have never tried it, and I don't know how. I don't even know, is it available in Toronto? Someone let me know because I need to try it and judge for myself. But in the meantime, I have tried the Tofutti cream cheese, which I think is really good in terms of texture, although I find the flavor a little bit bland. So unless you're kind of like using that in another recipe, it's like almost there, but not perfect. And another one that I have, but it's not perfect either, is the Daiya cream cheese. Now, I feel like, again, this is a very controversial one because a lot of people hate this. And I just, again, might be at the phase that I've been eating vegan for so long that I'm just like, I'll take what I can get, which may not be the best, selling feature. But again, it is just very accessible in all my grocery stores, and that is the Daiya cream cheese chive and onion flavor. Now, the flavor is good with that one, but the texture is a bit like gummier in that one. So I can definitely see why people don't like it, but I've just, again, gotten to a point of acceptance, and I'm like, this'll work. But again, maybe only try that out once you've been into your plant-based journey for a little while. I will say that I actually find a lot of the vegan cream cheeses that I tend to like the best are homemade ones, like a cashew one, or when you go out to like a nice little like cafe and they have like a really beautifully done artisanal vegan cream cheese or something like that. Ooh, next up, I wrote down a vegan kimchi. Now, I am a huge like fermented food lover, and lately I've been obsessed with kimchi. And originally kimchi calls for like a fish oil or like an oyster sauce or something that's like a fish derivative inside of kimchi. So you do want to double check all the kimchis that you're buying to make sure that it is vegan friendly. There's one here that's local to a lot of Toronto grocery stores, and it's called Wild Brine. And it's this amazing Korean kimchi that is just so delicious, and I eat it all the time on everything, especially on avocado toast or on like, big bowls and rice bowls, things like that. I think it is like the best thing ever. So shout out to Wild Brine. In terms of mac and cheese, there's one that I've only ever found in the States, and it's the Annie's vegan mac and cheese, and I actually really like that one. Except here in Canada, I can't seem to find it, but if you do live in the States, try out the Annie's vegan mac and cheese. So good. Ooh, next up, I want to talk a little bit about cereals. Cereals can be one of those tricky things that you might think is vegan at first, but it's actually not. Oftentimes, a lot of these bigger cereal brands and manufacturers will actually add vitamin D3 inside, which often is a derivative of bugs, like crushed up beetles and bugs and insects. That's actually something that I didn't know at first when I started eating vegan. Like, I didn't realize that cereal would not be vegan. Like, I would read the ingredients and I'd be like, okay, there's no milk in it, there's no eggs, there's no meat, like, should be fine, right? It's definitely one of those sneaky things you don't really know about until you kind of do the research or someone like tells you. So yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. But that's definitely something that I learned after like a month of like being so vegan and being a perfect plant-based gal. I was like, oh, I've been eating cereal that is not vegan friendly. That's so annoying. So I did want to talk to you guys about Nature's Path cereals because I think they are so good. And again, they're pretty much all vegetarian, but they'll write on the ones that are vegan because some other things have honey or sometimes I think maybe dairy in it. But again, it's very clearly labeled, so that makes my job so much easier. Now again, something about like a cereal at night, any time of the day, I could always mess with a bowl of cereal. And normally my milk of choice would be a soy milk in there, just saying. But I absolutely am obsessed with the Nature's Path Sunrise Crunchy Maple cereal. That one is just so good. I love it. I could eat that whole box in like one day, I swear. But really, I'm always just kind of cycling through and trying out the different Nature's Path cereals. I think they're all really, really good. Definitely a good brand to look out for. They also do amazing granolas as well. I've tried out like their pumpkin seeds and flax ones, coconut, vanilla, all these different kinds. But they do this amazing chocolate coconut. That is not the name. It's the Love Crunch dark chocolate macaroon flavor. Now, this granola is one of the most addicting things I've ever consumed. It is so good. There's chunks of chocolate and the coconut flakes. I am so obsessed. I can eat that like dry out of the bag. I can eat it, with milk in it as a topper. I can do so many different things with that Love Crunch. I am deceased. It is so good. So, so good. Next up, I think you guys are gonna be surprised with this one, and this is the best pancake mix ever. Now, wait for it. Drum roll, please. Aunt Jemima's. Now you might be thinking, Jaclyn, don't you need to like add milk or like eggs? Don't they have milk product in them? Yes, so be careful. The only one, I'm pretty sure it's the only one. It's the Aunt Jemima original pancake mix that says just add milk and eggs. And if you read the ingredients, there's no milk or, non-vegan ingredients inside. You're supposed to add the milk and add the eggs at home by yourself, but just don't add the milk and don't add the eggs. And it is the best pancake recipe ever. You can get fancy with it if you want and do like a cup of soy milk instead and do like a vegan egg replacer, whether it's like a flax egg or something like that. But honestly, I just add the amount of liquid that it recommends of milk. I think it's like maybe a cup or 2 cups, whatever the ratio is. But I just put water in, like literally just water with the pancake mix, and it makes the best, fluffiest pancakes ever. Try it out. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I think those are the best pancakes I've ever had. Okay, moving on to the vegan ice cream, the non-dairy frozen dessert section. This is, I feel like, again, one of those really good transitional foods. Like if you eat regular ice cream all the time, you can eat a non-dairy ice cream and it's not gonna really taste any different, so you might as well just do it kind of thing. There are so many delicious options out there and you really just cannot taste the difference at all. My favorite non-dairy ice cream of all time is the So Delicious salted caramel cluster. Oh, why am I forgetting all these names when I'm talking on camera? This ice cream is a cashew-based ice cream, but the caramel chunks inside and the chocolate, it is just so rich, so creamy. Truly just one of the most delicious ice creams I've ever had. Like ice cream in general, we're talking between the non-dairy and the dairy, like this is just so, so delicious across the board. You definitely need to try it out. It is that good. Please report back to me and tell me if you love it as much as I do. Also, I just recently discovered that like Nestle drumsticks do vegan drumsticks as well. It's like a new product launch and I tried it out and oh my gosh, so fire. It took me back to like, being in the backyard in summer, having a drumstick on a nice hot summer day. It is so, so good. The ice cream cone, the chocolate in the cone, all around, great thing. Great, great thing. Now, big honorable mention goes out to Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs. They do a bunch of different flavors of non-dairy ice cream. I've tried a bunch of them. I really like all of them. They're just really, really good. Ooh, I also wrote down a really good whipped cream alternative. And again, it's pretty accessible at all major grocery store chains. It's the Gaily whipped coconut cream whipped cream. It comes in like one of those aerosol cans, so it acts like a normal whipped cream, and it's just really good. So shout out to you. Some of the last things that I have written down on my list here are chocolates. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you can eat chocolate, and you're like, yeah, just don't get the milk chocolate. It's like they add add milk into chocolate. Chocolate at its core is like a dark chocolate normally, you know? But there are a ton of really good alternatives. I really like the Lindt Swiss dark chocolate. The Swiss chocolate is just like extra cocoa buttery and extra creamy, so it gives you that richness, obviously without having the dairy in it. I actually recently used that chocolate bar in a vegan banana bread recipe that I did, and it turned out so good. So I'll link that up above in case you guys want to watch that. But that Lindt Swiss chocolate is so delicious. Ooh, there's also this really cool brand. It's called Moo Free and like Mini Moo for the mini chocolate bars. And they carry them here in Toronto at Bulk Barn. They're kind of like random to find, but they're so good. Their chocolate tastes like a milk chocolate. Like it's not like a dark bitter chocolate. It looks like a milk chocolate. It's lighter in color, and they also have really good flavors. There's this one that's like a hazelnut caramel nibbed or like a hazelnut flavor. It's so delicious. I personally am someone that loves like a chocolate almond or like a chocolate hazelnut moment. So those ones are just to die for. Also, honorable mention goes out to Justin peanut butter cups. They always carry the Justin's dark chocolate peanut butter cups at Starbucks. So again, just very accessible. But yeah, they're just like a really good alternative to a peanut butter cup. Ooh, also, okay, gummies. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of candies aren't necessarily vegan because they contain gelatin inside, and gelatin is like an animal derivative. Is it whale blubber or like bone marrow? I don't know. It's something from inside of an animal, whether it's the fat or from a bone. It's not the move. So there's actually this really cool brand. It's called Squish. They do vegan and non-vegan candies, but they very clearly like denote which ones are vegan, and they have like vegan party packs and different kinds. And there's really just so many different options of types of gummies and candies and like sour strips, and I don't know. I'm normally not the biggest like candy person, but definitely nice to have for like a little party or like something like that. Or like a good gift to give. They're very high-end candies. They're really nice. Oh, also major love to Sweets from the Earth. Sweets from the Earth, it's a bakery up in Toronto, I think at like the north part, but they, I think, sell all throughout Canada. I don't know if they sell outside of Canada, but definitely here. And oh my goodness, you guys know that I love the Sweets from the Earth s'mores cookie. The s'mores cookie is so delicious. They also carry it here at Fresh, the restaurant here in Toronto, which is normally where I get it from, but you can buy it like packaged from the store as well. And something about that cookie, just, it gives me actual life. Like I'm getting a little worked up talking about it. Cookies are my favorite dessert, and the s'mores cookie is so chewy and soft, and like the gummy marshmallow and the chocolate, and just try it. You won't be mad. Next up, speaking of gelatin-free items, marshmallows typically aren't vegan, but a really good marshmallow alternative is Dandy's marshmallows. They do jumbo sizes and little mini ones for hot chocolate, so good to know. And speaking of hot chocolate, there's a really good vegan-friendly hot chocolate mix. It's actually from Ghirardelli, you know, like the chocolate brand. It's the Ghirardelli, I think it's the classic hot chocolate actually. But yeah, it's so rich, super creamy, but there's no milk in it, so good to know. Okay, so those were all the items that I had written down. I also wrote down, in terms of like egg replacements, I've heard the Just Egg vegan egg replacement is really good. And there's also this vegan egg by Follow Your Heart. I hear that those are both really good. I normally use like a tofu scramble if I'm doing like a scrambled egg kind of thing, but I really want to try out the Just Egg. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, but I will report back when I do. So I hope this gave you lots of ideas and lots of options. If you end up trying anything out, or if you've tried what I think is the best and you think that there's something better, let me know, because I'm always looking to upgrade my vegan alternatives. These are all just really good options, whether you want to add them into your lifestyle, or if you're looking, again, to eat more plant-based, but you don't want to change up a lot of the foods that you're eating. If you eat yogurt and granola every single morning for breakfast, an easy switch is just subbing out to a non-dairy yogurt and trying that. These are really good like transition foods, or just foods to kind of spice up what you're eating, you know what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of you guys watching also eat plant-based or eat more vegan-friendly food, so I went over to my Instagram stories and I asked what your favorite replacements are, because I was curious to know if you guys have any standouts that I didn't cover. So I did quickly want to go through those and see what you guys all recommended and give little shout outs / ideas to anyone else watching. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. The very first thing I see is someone saying the So Delicious cashew milk caramel ice cream. See, I'm not making this up. This thing is so good across the board. Ooh, someone here says Gardine's chicken and Dea's pizza they really like. Someone else says the Gardine beefless crumbles. Chow cheese is apparently the best. I've heard so many people talk about chow, and I actually have never seen it / tried it, so that is something I do need to try out and see how it compares to my Earth Island cheese. Someone here says Flora vegan butter. I've actually never heard of that one. Ooh, someone else says BioLife cheddar slices. I have heard good things about BioLife. I've never tried it though. This one says Tofurkey deli slices or Yeeves ham slices. I've actually tried some of the like lunch meat alternatives. They're pretty good. I like them. Someone else says the So Delicious cashew caramel cluster ice cream. I like how just as a community we've all decided that that's our food. That's our food. A lot of people talking about the Beyond Meat burgers, Earth Island cheeses. Someone here says the Baysell vegan. Ooh, someone says the Kite Hill almond milk yogurt. I have tried a few of the Kite Hill ones. Not better than the Day ones in my opinion, but ooh, a lot of people here are commenting that the Oatly ice creams are really good. I think I've only tried it once, so I can't really give a good opinion, but seems to have dashing reviews. There are so many comments about this cashew caramel ice cream. That is the overall winner, I think. Wow, so this was a very fun video for me to film. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know, I'm curious actually, are a lot of you guys already vegan? Or are you guys like curious about eating vegan? Let me know down in the comments. I'm always like learning from you guys and would love to hear your recommendations. So, you know, keep that positive community down there. You guys are always so awesome. I love replying in the comments and chatting with you. But yeah, if you guys did find this video helpful, make sure you guys subscribe, give the video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And that is it for me. Make sure you guys follow, comment, like, do all the things, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!